Well. Yesterday we spoke about trying to salvage your relationship, and today we're going to try and give you some more insight on what to do in love. Specifically, signs that someone is in love with you. No, I feel like that's the wrong one.
How to bring back the spark into the relationship.
Yes. So you're over there, you have tried to revive your relationship, you have resuscitated it somehow. So now what do? The next step is trying to make sure that this relationship actually works out. So how do you create spark in a relationship? There are about 7 ways of trying to rekindle this that we are going to be talking about in today's conversation. And we start with the most important one, which is, can you just determine, first of all, whether or not that is even used for rekindling? Sometimes you're just in a bad place. Like, let's agree. Don't be beating on a dead dog. Like, it's dead. Just leave it. Sometimes it's okay to just accept that you can walk away. But once you've gotten to the point where you're just like, all right, maybe I'm willing to fight for this relationship, and you have resuscitated it, then what do? Where do you start?
You start on reminiscing. Like, remember the good old times. Remember how it felt before everything, hit the fan. Just being in that space, maybe it'll give you something to look forward to. If you can just sit down and remember, you're like, remember when we used to go on this and this and this, we should start doing that again. Remember when we used to go on hikes together, we should do that again. Maybe it'll bring up old feelings. Remember when we used to eat dinner together, and then, we should start doing that again. So going back in time might fix stuff.
Yeah, true. Another one is focusing on communication, because oftentimes relationships do break for a simple reason as either there was miscommunication, or there was no communication at all, or lines were crossed either way during communication or during the passing of information that you wanted to pass along.
Yeah.
So what do? You focus on communicating. Just learn the tools of communication once again. How do you like to be spoken to? I know we said it here on the show many times that everyone is seeking the basic things: to be loved and to be understood. So if you're looking for love, you will find it. But how do you understand this person, how to love them, how they like to be loved? You go back to the tools of finding someone and understanding them, which include, but are not limited to, what do you call them? The acts of service. What are those called?
Love languages.
Love languages, yes. You go back to love languages. You're like, yeah. So we'd spoken recently, and by the way, love languages change. I didn't know this until recently when we were having a conversation with my partner, and I realized that actually, yeah, some things change. So he's changed a few things, I've changed a few things. So reflect upon that again. You're like, do you still want acts of services? Do you still want quality time? Like, where do you feel like you lay right now when it comes to your love and how you want love to be expressed to you? Another thing, very, very important, start to carve out and schedule time for your relationship. When do you want to have date night? Because oftentimes when you've gone through like a weird patch, you don't really have a system in place, yeah? So start to go back to stuff like that. Do you want to schedule romance and sexual intimacy? Because sometimes people just get busy, or you're just not in the mood for it and stuff like that. So you need to schedule it, otherwise it gets lost in translation. Do we need to go back to date nights? Is date night an option, or do we prefer date days or date mornings? Like, start to think about those things and trying to rearrange them and communicate with your partner effectively so that they know what you're expecting. Because once you start expecting things that are not given to you, that brings a lot of resentment, and that's not a good thing. So focus on your communication.
And bringing back romantic gestures. Let me tell you, those small things you used to do for your partner, and then over time you stopped doing them, they really affect the relationship, Because maybe they were swept off of their feet because of the simple fact that you used to bring them flowers. You bought them flowers once. Or in the initial stages of dating, you used to buy them flowers every so often. And then you stopped. You got comfortable. You got used to them. Ukasema, huyo ameingia box, hakuna pahali anaenda, tutamuoa, tutampatia watoto. Just that complacency and just being meh about your relationship, it kind of affects, not kind of, it really affects the quality of your relationship long term. So those small romantic gestures, don't stop doing them. If you used to wake up and make coffee for your partner before they go to work, why did you stop? Is there a problem? Are you out of coffee? Do you need to buy coffee? Ama ni maji hakuna? Fix it. Maybe they fell in love with you because you used to get them coffee in the morning, and now you've stopped, and there's absolutely no reason why you would have stopped doing that. You used to buy her chocolate every evening, hata kama ni ile ya blue, kale kadogo ka biscuit. Every day after work, you'd come and give her something, and then you stopped out of the blues for no reason. Maybe there was one day she was really looking forward to that chocolate, na haikukuja. You see, now there's small expectations, because you already set the tone. Once you stop doing that, of course I'm going to low-key resent you. Yeah, I still love you, but why don't you buy me flowers anymore?
Yeah, you start to question yourself. You're like, why don't you? Yeah, actually, that's exactly it. Why don't you love me anymore? Another question, which I often feel like is so taken for granted, I think we shall demonstrate. Turi, thank you so very much for calling me and for picking up my rice earlier. It was really kind. I was actually getting late, and I wasn't sure I was going to manage to pick it up, so thank you very much for picking that up for me.
Okay, I like that.
Simple.
I like that.
It's very
simple.
That. You give
Gratitude.
an exact situation, an exact thing that your friend, in this case, your partner, your partner has done for you. Make a note of it, and then at some point, just
Say
them.
Thank you.
Show them that you actually feel gratitude for that little thing or that big thing that they did for you. Oftentimes, as you go on into relationships, you start to realize that we barely say thank you. It almost feels like you are owed. It almost feels like it's your job to do it. So why should I be thanking you? Like, I came and did shopping for the house for this month, personally. Mimi nikaenda supermarket, and I hate the supermarket. But I still went to the supermarket and I bought stuff and I did shopping for the whole week. And you're like, oh yeah, bebe, mbono ufanyangi hivi kila saa. Why not just say thank you? Because that's something that was taken off of your list of things to do. So please be thankful for the small, for the big, for the insignificant, and for the significant. Express gratitude. It goes a long way in reigniting passion.
Exactly. And scheduling a date night Nima, is important. And this I am speaking to people with children, because, and this is even something I even experienced at some point, where we always go out, but we always go out, and children are included, and you forget we were once a unit. There was a time it was just you and I. So why every time we leave the house it has to be you, me, and the product of our love? I did not like that. I really did not like that, because yeah, sure, it's good quality time with your family, but you need the one-on-one. You need to go and figure out if we still like each other. I'm like, damn, you've been snoring so loud these days. I hate you. It is time to look for another bedroom. So you just need that one-on-one to just reconnect, talk to each other, remind yourself why you fell in love in the first place, listen to those old dad jokes, just the two of you,
jokes,
the two of you without other things.
Actually, I remember you guys used to do so many stupid jokes. I swear to God, I would steal some of them and share. But anyway, yeah, I think that's a really important one. Just reignite. Date night is, and by the way, notice scheduling date night and scheduling sexual intimacy are two different things.
True.
You don't have to have date night and your bound chicka wow wow on the same
putting
day.
out.
It really does give a lot of pressure to that day, because you feel like, oh, you're only taking me out so that you can get some later. Like, there's so much pressure because of that. So
I've got to be wine drunk and still in the mood.
It's just like, no. Try and separate them. If you can do date night on one day in the beginning of the week, and then you can do intimacy night on another day. And intimacy, again, is not about the bound chick wow wow. Intimacy can be just like looking into each other's eyes, doing a hug for like 10 minutes. Do you know how annoying it is to be with someone with their bodily fluids? But at some point, you start to like ease into it and feel like, let me tell you, bini kona ma tips. Wow. We shall share on another day, more expansively. But another very important thing, do you and your partner have hobbies? Do you have hobbies? Do you have your hobbies? Does he have his hobbies? And then do you have your hobbies? Because oftentimes as women, we tend to forget our hobbies.
True.
And then we have these hobbies that we have with just our partner. But at the same time, it could be the complete opposite, where you have your own things you do for fun, they have their own things they do for fun, but you don't have a group of things that you do together. So start to figure out things that you like to do together. It could be you are now starting to read a book together, your own small book club. Is it even a book club or a book couple? Your own book couple. Yeah.
That is pressure.
It could be you start a very particular series that only is watched on like a very specific period of time. Like we only watch this every other weekend. For example, Survivor. Survivor is a very good series. You can just watch it every weekend. So during the week, you will not touch it. You will not go anywhere near it. And then during the weekend, you
can watch it
decide you can
together.
watch it together. And it becomes like a routine. So every single weekend, you look forward to something. Do you guys want to start doing the mile run, a mile jog, a mile walk? Si lazima uishi Runda, ama Karen, ama Gigiri,
Lakini
ndio
ni
uchape
important.
kalegi.
Wewe
Okay,
ni
kuna
important.
safety reasons
Usiniambie uko kwetu nitoke kwetu.
reasons. Lakini si siku hizi they've that ka strip on the side of the road.
They gonna mug me. Okay, maybe they won't, but just be careful about your surroundings.
Okay, yeah, be careful. It doesn't have to be an actual walk. You can just do like a meditation in the house, you know. Hey, this sounds very white. But find an activity that you can do together, even if it's like journaling, scribbling, like taking pictures, I don't know, a pet. Just find things that you really like to do together and then do them together. You can do volunteer work as well. Mwende pale kwa children's home, ama pale kwa elderly home, musaidie a few old people to get themselves together and stuff like that. Like these are things that you can do together. Just find what is passionate for you, what you guys have a passion for, and do it. Serve.
And kissing more often. I think over time, for some relationships, people stop kissing. And it's very unfortunate. Like growing up, did you see your mom and dad be affectionate with each other or kiss in front of you people? Because I even questioned where I was made. These people had zero intimacy between each other. They look like roommates.
Wow.
So you don't want it to get to that stage
True,
where
true.
you're just, yeah, that's my homie, you know?
What up?
Yeah, you don't want that situation, that familiarity to just creep in and just be comfortable in it. And kissing is so beautiful because there's serotonin, there's all this hormone, this feel-good hormones. It's good.
Dopamine,
so kiss more often.
serotonin, all of the nice ones.
Or kiss more people. You
Ha,
just
ha.
kiss more
Please don't
often.
listen to Turi's last words. That one was madness. But like, here's another thing about kissing though, that I actually, maybe the reason why people over time stop kissing as much is because when we're talking about kissing, not like stooping, the reason why it becomes so complicated is because you start to associate kissing and making out with bounchika wow wow.
Yes, with putting out.
It's because every single time y'all are kissing, then you think you have to put out. So that pressure starts to become a thing of, no, I don't want to kiss him because I don't want to put out, or I'm not in the mood, or whatever. So
I don't want to cuddle and snuggle.
Yes,
because
you're now associating sexual intercourse with kissing. So the reason why you probably should try and kiss a lot more is because then it just becomes a thing of spontaneity. As in, it's not like every time someone is trying to kiss you, then they're trying to get into it. Sometimes they just want to kiss you because they want to kiss you. So try and engage that. It also just gives you that vavavoom, you know? It's like a, hey baby. Umezuba tu unapata na kamoja. It feels nice. It's nice. So
Mnaishi? Y'all are living out here.
stop making sex and kissing one thing. They're not always, and well, they technically are the same thing, but like sometimes
one can exist
without the other.
True.
You're absolutely correct.
Exactly.
Anyway, someone was just shouting in my ear, so I think it's time for us to boogie.
Yeah.